say that they hear the voice of God are given power, money, and notoriety. Women who hear the voice of God are called crazy, depicted as an old, ugly hag with warts and a broken nose that has a gross laugh and is going to eat your children. It's like, hey, God.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well said.
What are we doing here?
Unfortunately, well said. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that is unfortunately. Again, I'm struck by the strength and resilience in this story, right? I mean, it's this journey from, if you even just looking, going through all the both the canonical as well as sort of what we're gleaning from the Gnostic text, we have this journey, right? It starts from deliverance, right? So she had 7 demons, again, metaphorically. So we start with deliverance, then we move to devotion. So she was a devoted, she was actually a patron in some senses of Jesus. Like, she wasn't just a disciple. She gave to his ministry. She supported him. She was a patron. So you have deliverance, you have devotion, then you have persistence. This persistence even through death in following, in this devotion. So you have this persistent belief. And then lastly, you move from deliverance to devotion to persistence in belief. And then lastly, to daring and courageous, to being a daring and courageous messenger. She's the one who was sent. And what a journey that is. And I guess, I don't know, hearing that, it inspires me in my own journey of being a leader, of being somebody, of being a helper, of being a coach, of being, in all these different roles. Can I be as courageous and persistent as Mary, is what comes up for me, even in the face of such such an attempt to silence and to distort the truth. I don't know how. I don't know. That's what comes up for me. I mean, her example of this, how does that land with you? What does it bring up for you in your own spiritual or leadership journey? I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you just said, and I suppose I'll just add one layer that came up for me, which is the self-affirmation piece. That is, once Jesus is gone and resurrected and in heaven with the Trinity, reunited with the Trinity, and the Mary is still sharing her knowledge in spite of Jesus' disciples questioning her and questioning the message, that it doesn't matter. She's like, I know my truth. I know what Jesus told me. I know what I believe. I know what I am going to follow, because this is what makes me a spiritual person, the best version of myself, the wholest, most true version of myself, and step into truth that she knows, right? And her story really is one that does not rely on anyone else, maybe on Jesus, but no other figure. And it is the truth that was revealed to her through Jesus partially, but also partially through that own self-affirmation that is, I know my truth and I'll share it with you. You don't want to believe it. Hey, take what you want, disciples and apostles. Like you knew him too, but I did know him. And I know what I know. And that self-sovereignty piece, it's something we talk a lot about in the podcast, is I think just so reflected in this story. And I think so often when we feel, maybe this is just a self-report, but I think so often when we feel unempowered, when we do not believe in our own power, when we do not believe in our own sovereignty, we try so hard to convince other people of our truth because we're not the ones affirming it for ourselves. And in Mary just being like, yep, this is what I know. And then being like, I don't know. And it's like, okay. It's just like the ultimate, damn, like she believes it, there's no, you don't need anything when you are your own rock. Like, Yeah.
That's so true.
I completely agree with
Wow.
what you're saying.
So powerful. No. I think you brought out this may be the most important thing is you're right. Because how often if you believe something is true, you don't need to push your beliefs on other people. Like, you don't need to, it doesn't need to be conform or die. Like, if you don't, it's, hey, I know this is true. I'm secure in it. And people try to tear down that security because of their own insecurity, right? And so I do think it's just a beautiful display of security. Like, she is secure in her story. She is secure in the authority she's been given, and so she spoke her truth. And wow, I mean, how powerful! And again, I see it in two ways. I see both that dedication, right? Her faithfulness is really what gave her that truth, right? She got her truth through her faithfulness, through her devotion, through her I don't know. I think there's something so powerful there. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
I hope our listeners, to me, that's what it's about. When you speak your truth, you don't have to worry about anyone hearing it. Because your truth is there. It's alive.
Yeah.
And isn't that truly the gospel? So she was, in some senses, living the gospel, right? Her heart, her intuition, her belief was her gospel. She was a living embodiment of that. What a beautiful thing. What a model. Like,
Yeah.
amazing that such a, when we really dig into this, it's amazing how you just what a role model, more so than I first imagined. So what a wonderful way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such a beautiful kind of note to end on here.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where to go from here.
I know. I'm like, I think that what you just said is like such a beautiful encapsulation of this conversation. But I suppose before we close out, is there anything else that we haven't touched on yet that we want to make sure we talk about with Mary Magdalene? I'm trying to think if there's anything that I was like, I want to make sure we talk about it. But I think we covered a good chunk.
I'm sure we missed some scholarly points we could have made, but honestly, I think the message to me is just so clear. Or at least what I take away from today is to just how powerful that devotion and belief and persistence is. And we need more women and men to be like Mary Magdalene. And I hope this inspires people to use their voice, because all of our listeners, your voice matters. I don't care how many times you've been told your voice doesn't matter, you're emotional, you're too much, you're crazy, all of these things. You're a prophet too. Like, your voice is so important now more than ever. And I hope at least one person takes this and starts living their truth more vocally. And we need your voices. We need more voices out there. So that's my takeaway. Be like Mary, for sure.
Yeah.
Be like Mary.
I think for me, the final thing I'll add that came up when you were just saying that is her belief in God is her belief in herself. And her belief in herself is her belief in her God. And that the faith that she has in this spiritual truth is the faith in herself and her spiritual truth, right? And it speaks to what we've talked about before about the I am, the God you that exists within all of us. It's, you are your most divine thing. We all have access to God all the time because we are always with ourselves. And I think she is such a beautiful role model of that. So I completely agree.